Hey guys, Mo Trapper. I wanted to talk about information, and there's a ton of it out there, right? Um, when I first started, I bought a bunch of DVDs and a bunch of books and watched a ton of YouTube videos. And I had a lot of information, but I didn't have any experience. And I'm still working on that because I don't have a lot of experience still. But I found out pretty early that you can end up in like information overload. You know what I mean? There's so many different trappers out there, and they do things very differently. And a lot of it depends on, soil conditions, how much rain they get in their area, uh, you know, the difference between somebody who's trapping agricultural land and who's trapping mostly forest, and like cow pastures and things like that. So the conditions on the ground where you're trapping are gonna make a big difference on um, what traps are most effective, what pan cover system is most effective, what types of sets are most effective, T-bones or flat sets or dirt holes or what have you. So, I mean, there are sets that are going to work anywhere, you know what I mean, but there are sets that are going to work better in different areas depending on what's around and what's going on in your area. So, I bought a ton of DVDs. I bought a ton of books. I'm subscribed to several magazines, and anyway, I just wanted to go through some of the ones that I have, some of the ones that I've viewed and watched over and over again, and learned a lot from, and some of the ones that I think are should be top of the list if you're looking to get some good information. And by the way, I know I'm on YouTube. I get it, and YouTube is full of information on trapping. There's a lot of bad information on YouTube though, and I'm referring you to this stuff because I'm in no position to be teaching somebody how to trap. I'm still learning myself. But if you're in the same situation where you're, learning and kind of wondering what might be good and what might be worth the money, I've got some suggestions here. So I've got a ton of DVDs, and these are some of the better ones that I wanted to mention. So this is Western Coyote Trapping with Andy Weiser. It's a great video, and Andy, puts up a ton of critters, catches a ton of coyotes, but he's trapping in very different conditions than I am. So, and I mentioned this on an earlier video too, but he's got duff. So whenever he's kind of sifting in his traps at the end, he's got all this real nice duff, and it's not nice and light and dry, and it's pretty much all over out there. It looks like. So he just scoops up in the sifter and sifts it over it and walks away. I mean, it's beautiful. It's ready to go. Um, I just don't have that here. You know what I mean? It'd be like wet leaves and garbage. I mean, it's just we just don't have that kind of really nice light, dry duff that he's working with. So just in watching that video, I was like, that's wonderful. And if I had that, I would do it in a heartbeat, but we ain't got that here. So that's probably not going to work, right? So kind of keep that in mind as you're watching these videos too. These two are Mark June's. So Coyote Trapping with Mark June, and then Coyote Trapping Reducing the Numbers is his newer one. And they're both very good. What was interesting to me is how much is different as far as the systems that he's using from this video to this video. And I don't know um, how many years apart these two are, but they're at least 8 years, maybe 10 years apart. Filming of these two, and the traps he uses are different. The way because he uses polyfill in this video, and he's using uh, pan covers in this video. A lot of things changed, and that goes to show you, even the guys that put up a lot of numbers every year, even the guys that are really good professional trappers, they evolve, they change, they learn new things, they try new techniques, and if it's better and more efficient and faster, then they adopt it. So we're all still learning all the time, and I think that's a good example of that. um, Predator Madness, Guide to Trapping Canines with Alan Probst. It's a good video. These two are Clint Locklear. So Dirt Holes Beyond the Basics and Coyote Locations That Produce. These two will teach you a lot, especially about location, and then how to do a really good dirt hole, big flashy dirt hole, kind of what Clint is famous for. And then one of the most recent ones I've gotten, and one of the ones that I really really like a lot, and I would recommend, is Coyote Trapping: Fall and Winter Trapping Methods with Ed Schneider of Kansas Trapline Products. This is a 2 DVD set, and he does a really good job of going over all of it, everything as far as coyote trapping. And you know, his land again, kind of like Andy's, is a little bit different than mine. So not everything works, not everything translates exactly, but it's pretty close, pretty good. Uh, so when we talk about books, you know, like I said, I'm a member of the Missouri Trappers Association, which is another really good way, because your state trapping organization is going to have districts, are going to have folks that are close to you. Learning from those guys is probably going to be your fastest bet, your best bet, because they're trapping in your area. So they already know all the challenges of whatever your terrain is. And they're going to be able to give you tips on, you know, that's probably not going to work for you. You should probably try this, or what have you. So that's a really good way to go. But this is Missouri Mountain Men magazine. This is from the Missouri Trappers Association. They've got really good articles in there. American Trapper is the publication of the National Trappers Association. That's a good one. And the Fur Taker is Fur Takers of America. So become a member. You know, this is state organization, national organization, national organization. And they've got great articles in there, and it's a really good source of information for you. Let's see. This is the NTA Trapping Handbook. This is good if you go to an NTA show. I went to the Nationals last year. You get that with your admission. Let's see. This is Trapping the Eastern Brush Wolf by Russ Carman. That's a good book, especially for Eastern guys, because it is a little different east to west. Competition Line Coyote Trapping by Tom Miranda. That's a good one. Leggett's, so Coyote Trapping Methods. This is Pete and Ron Leggett. Another good book. And The Dirt Hole and Its Variations by Charles Dobbins. That's another very good book. One that helped me probably as much as any of those is Trapping the Missouri Ozarks. It's by Doug Curtis. And it's, you know, I found it used on Amazon. It's I don't think he probably printed a whole bunch of them, but very specific to my area. So it was very handy, and I learned several things from there that helped me out. The one that I just got, and one that I really, really, really like, is called Perfect Sets by Rich Failer. And what I really like about this one is he goes through multiple different trap coverings, right? This section's on trap covering. He goes through multiple different pan covers, multiple different methods to antifreeze a trap, you know, multiple different ways to do a lot of different things. So it's not just here's my perfect set and it works, you know, in Michigan or Minnesota or wherever he is. This is my perfect set, and here's another thing you can do, and here's another way you can do it, and here's another way you can do it. So, you know, you can kind of work your way through here and figure out what's going to work in your area with your terrain, with your soil, with your conditions. So, very, very good book. I really like that one. That's a good one. And then let's talk about fur handling. So, you know, on YouTube, as far as trapping stuff, I've mentioned a bunch of different channels on this channel before, but I think the best show that's on right now is probably Who's Your Trapper. Their production quality is very good. You can see what they're talking about. They do a lot of informational stuff on set building, set construction, traps, you know, trap maintenance, and setting up of your traps, and you know how to anchor them and all that stuff. So they do a really good job. And there's other ones too. Coyote Trapping School is good. You know, 330 Maniac if you're interested in beaver trapping, especially beavers and muskrats. You know, there's a bunch of good channels out there. I don't even have time to name them all, but there's a bunch of them out there. But Who's Your Trapper is one that I would definitely recommend. When it comes to fur handling, though, on YouTube, there's one that's head and shoulders, as far as I'm concerned, above all the other ones, and that's Coon Creek Outdoors. He's got a professional fur handling series, and it's awesome. But if you want a DVD about fur handling, there's one here that I'm not going to mention on purpose because it's just not very good. I'm sure it's good information. I watched it, and listening to him, it sounded like good information, but you can't see it. The lighting is terrible. The camera's too far away. It's just a bad video. And I don't think it's bad fur handling. It's just bad. They weren't really adept at videoing the process. But some other ones that are good, fur processing instruction with Jeff Dunlap. It's a good one. He goes through all the critters, and you can see what he's talking about. You can hear him. It's well lit. It's a good video. Top Lock Coyote handling with Leon Winchell. As far as coyotes, this is specifically just about coyotes, but this goes through every little detail, and it's very, very good. It's the best video that I've seen on coyote handling. And then for overall, just kind of all around, this one, Show Me the Money, with Charlie Mashek from Hoosier Trapper Outdoors, and I think this is the best all around. He goes through everything. It's very well done. You can hear what he's talking about. You can see what he's showing you. So it's a good video for fur handling. So those are my go-to. Like I said, there's a lot of information out there. Try to not get overloaded with too many ideas. Just try to take some ideas from, again, from guys that are working in your conditions, and I think you're going to be better off than trying to mix in a whole bunch of stuff from a whole bunch of different people. And hopefully that'll shorten your learning curve. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.